First and foremost, what did y'all think of the first episode? I felt the same way. I'm so excited to talk to you both about this today. So I wanted to sort of start off, if both of you could tell us a bit about sort of the origins of your involvement with this project, and then along with that, what your first reactions to the scripts were.
Go ahead. You want to take a look at it? I feel like if I'm sitting here, I'll go first. Well, I got an audition for the project, and I didn't know anything about it. I had sides from actually a third episode, but I didn't know anything about the world. So it was, what I knew about it was that it was a world where, what was about the character, let me just try to remember. It was something about, they're very pleasant and happy. That's all I knew, and you get these sides, and you go, okay, what do I do? Pleasant, happy, okay. And I put myself on tape, and then it was a bit of a process, and then I actually tested for it was the next thing, and then I got to read the 2 scripts before I was going to go test and meet Rhea Seehorn. And when I read it, my mind was just blown away of just what Vince has created, the world that he has created, the big ideas in his and everything, who my character is, and it was really exciting because it was so different and so special, and I've never seen this world on TV before, and I've never seen Zosha's character on screen before, so it was really exciting. And then when I tested, I got to meet Rhea, who was just, I love you. She's so special, and she's so incredible. So yeah, that was like my beginning process. So I was and she was so giving, and during our testing process. So that's my involvement with the. Is this on? I can't even hear myself. Oh, there you go. Hi guys.
Can you repeat that whole thing, please?
Yeah. So.
I also I know that they didn't have time to show episode 2, and I hope that you all will go and watch it.
God, yeah.
What she's doing is incredible, and she might not say that about herself. And I know a lot of you in here are in the industry and in this craft in some way or another. So I want to add to it that what you will see and what you will witness is that she's being asked to play a character representing the others in this event that happens. And Vince wanted to dial in the tone and find it as we go. It was a slippery thing. It's a slippery tone in the show, veering from comedic to dark and dramatic, genre-defying, all over the place, which is hard to do well. And he wanted us to collaborate with him, which was so much fun and a challenge in the way every actor wants. But Karolina gets assigned with this first representation of the others, and they're like, it's pleasant. And you got this in the screen test immediately. It's pleasant and it's content, and tell me if I'm getting any of it wrong.
No, blissful,
but not a robot. Not high on Valium.
And also, I can't take on your emotions.
So this is the thing I wanted to tell them as actors.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just going to talk about you. Just deal with it.
Okay, thank you.
So as humans, we tend to mirror each other. That right? It's part of like reciprocating emotions. The conversation has gone sad. The conversation has gone angry. Somebody's facial gesture changes. They have to be compassionate, the world's most intelligent, and empathetic to a degree, but you cannot mirror or match my emotions. And they're having us do this scene that you'll see in episode 3, where I am just launching at her. And we had some brilliant actresses come in, all of who have incredible talent.
Thank you, Rhea, being among them. Thank you.
But then this one comes in and is like, okay, and to not match my energy, to not match when I take the scene angry, to not match it when I take it sad, but remain a 3-dimensional human being was just incredible to watch. And then the way you grew that when you see the 9 episodes, it's just one of the most deceptively difficult brilliantly pulled off performances I've seen. So wait till you see that.
Thank you. How amazing is she? I mean, like, this was my partner to play. Like, come on, like, when you have this gift, you just made everything to be just such a treat. You're incredible, and you're so giving. And like, she's truly a dream. For an actor, she's a dream to work with. You know, you're always there. Yeah, but it's like people need to know that, and I want everyone to know that.
Too much press for people that misbehave on sets. More press for people that believe this is a collaborative art form.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to skip ahead a little bit in my question since we were talking about your performance because, we understand that you are sort of representing this collective, this, hive mind, so to speak. And I'm very, very curious how you even begin to get into the mindset of a we as an actress. Like where do you even start, truly?
It's a great question. As with any script, I do script analysis and understand the scenes, but it was definitely one of those things where I had to take bit by bit because the idea is so big and overwhelming to be like, I have everybody in my head and I'm the smartest person in the world and blah, 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 I can do anything I want. And I can perform anything, at my highest self. And so I had to, I did, there's a lot of things. I did a lot of meditation every day to get into that state of zen and peace. I did body work to really relax the muscles. So the content lived in my body because these people they don't have nerves. They're not scared. They're...
anatomically they have nerves.
Yes, yes, but
it was important to them that they stay human.
Yeah, they are
Their
human.
body is corporally human.
They're human. Yes. They're human.
Saying I don't want the press to write.
Yeah. No. Yes. Absolutely. What I mean is emotionally, they're not nervous, and so working my body to relax and be present and be very, very present for her and be very in the moment for your feelings and holding space for you, working on all these things. And also I love to do dream work. I love dream work. I love Carl Jung.
Have you guys heard about this? I have not heard about it. It's a thing, doing dream work. I was very interested in this.
I love it so much because you get into the subconscious of characters and your dreams can provide little gifts for you. When you... it started with, I don't want to get too much into it, but like Sandra Seacat started it and Mickey Rourke was the one that started that with her. And a lot of like Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone, now a lot of people are actually doing dream work for their characters. And it's really fascinating. And it's not a heady thing. It kind of lives in your body in a different way. It's very fascinating. I don't know if there's not an acting book on it. But there's coaches that do it. And so I did a lot of work on that. And then, pieces by pieces, putting it all together and for each scene and working with her. We rehearsed a lot. We ran our lines. So we're completely off book. And so we were able to come in on the day and ready to play. Yeah. You want to, yeah. Oh, yeah, that was about me. I'm like doing hot to that. Yeah, great. So that's how I prep for it. And then we did rehearsals, in episode 2, which you guys haven't seen. There's things that I have to do, like I don't actually fly the plane, but I did end up taxiing the C-130 Hercules, which is wild, which it's in Albuquerque, which is pretty incredible. And then I operate an excavator. So I had to do, rehearsals for that because everything lives in their muscle memory. So they perform any task perfectly at their best, right?
Because all the best pilots,
are in her head. Are in my
all
head.
The best surgeons
but also
are in
my
her
body.
Head.
And in my body.
And sometimes just when I wanted to fuck with her, I said that word. I don't know if we're allowed to, but I did. I would say but you also have the biggest dumbasses also in your brain.
That's very true.
Are you making room for them?
How well does it balance out, really?
Very true.
Does it just neutralize itself out, or?
Really, at the end of the day, you're just an average person, right?
Exactly. But she had to do these tasks, and you'll see them as actors and filmmakers. It has to be the kind of thing where you have to do it you don't even need to think about it. Somebody who's flown a plane forever, somebody who's
You don't Google it, right? You don't go like, let me Google it.
But also,
and
you don't
see
have to
it,
look
you
at
know?
your hands.
Yeah,
That
just-
kind of thing. You walk up and you grab this thing that you've always done without thinking, and she had tons of
So
that.
we had to rehearse a lot of that to make sure that when I perform whatever it was, that it was just kind of like it's there, and
It was amazing.
it was so much fun.
Well, and then Ray, you're such the inverse experience in that your character.
I'm perfectly pleasant enough. I don't know what you mean.
Your character is so. I mean, at first we just see her unhappy, then we see her slowly traumatized through this whole process. Adrenaline and fear and all of these things. I want to talk about or ask you about the one specific sequence where Helen starts seizing, and then we watch this whole, just you running around realizing, what the fuck is happening. I'm curious what it was like filming that sequence and maintaining that level of adrenaline throughout every one of those, connected scenes.
Thank you for those compliments. And I have to mention Miriam Shore playing Helen, my wife. She's a New York and national treasure. And very little time to form a real three-dimensional human being and a real three-dimensional marriage that needed to have weight throughout the rest of the series, as you will see if you choose to watch it, and I hope you do. And when Vince told me when we start, Vince always does a lot of takes, and it takes a long time to film his shows. He is not manipulative or indulgent. He is a specific auteur that has things in mind, but also Vince likes a visual vocabulary that requires many, many angles. So that's just taking time. If you're doing possibly 7 masters, if you're and then the coverage, and you're coming in. So I always know that I need to prepare in a way that is repeatable. Yeah. We did the scene you're talking about we did, I think 5 weeks of night shoots, and the scene you're talking about, just where she dies and I pull up to the ER, was 2 full nights, that over and over. And Vince also told me, and we did that on Saul, the multiple takes, but Vince also said, I don't know exactly what the show is yet, Ray. I want to find it while we're filming it. And I knew he meant tone, which is such a difficult thing to pin down, and yet such an imperative part of what we do. Like, we've all seen shows, right, where you're like, I don't think the show knows what it wants to be. Yeah. And Vince is taking these swerves from comedy to drama. We've also seen shows where you're like, these people are all great, but they're not in the same show. Like, they're doing different. And this is tone. And so we did takes where you push it all the way to like you're in a Mike Leigh film. It's just dismal, bleak, unforgiving. And then takes as comedic as you can take it. And Vince has a saying where he would say, take it till it breaks. And then he's looking for like, what can this scene hold? How can this scene support? What's the darkest it can go while supporting the lightest it can go within the same scenes? And then when you take, on top of that, to do all this takes time. And so I will say it is a challenge. It is a physical challenge to go out there and do, 10 hours freezing cold. And I'm on my knees in a truck bed. And Vince would remind me in the most helpful way, not a crappy way. We left off last night and you were like out of 14 with the anxiety and the energy. And now we're starting up again and the sun just went down. It has to be back at a 14. I personally, if it's out of breath and physically exerted, I'll do little things like a couple of squats or running, just so that you get the flushness, the stuff that it's not your problem to act, right? Or running in place a little bit. And then the other thing I'll give myself is a couple of pinpoints that are the what was the moment before, and the things that I have, whether it's a prop or a person's face or whatever, that I have instantly found a connection to. Miriam playing Helen, her little feet being cocked to the side used to crush me. So we'd be getting ready to start the next night, and I'd say, okay, and I would just look at her feet, and I would think about, unfortunately, and I'm sure many of you are the same, I have had people pass away. I've also had people almost pass away in front of me, and just how childlike their little bodies are in that moment crushes me. So it wasn't like prostituting your emotions of like, now I'm going to go over and think about my dead, family member. But it was connecting to like, what's the space your head's in right now? And also thinking about, another big one for me was, because in that moment, there's still the hope that they might make it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we've all been there. Actually, I hope none of you have been there, but many of us have been there. And that racing anxiety of panic was important to us. And the last thing I'll say about the scene that I did find very interesting was Vince and I knew on the day that I'm supposed to stand up, and the people start to stand up in the ER, and my wife has just died. And we actually did takes where that lasted for a very, very long time. And in the end, he decided to edit it down. He was like, too painful to watch. And I was like, is that good? But anyway, so I stand up, and I'm supposed to get out of the cab of the truck and go and ask these people what's going on. And he's like, something's missing. I said, I was up all night. I said, something's missing. And he's like, what did you think it was? And I said, the transition. How could you leave your wife, like her body, like she just died. It's just horrible. But we have to get to this next place. And then we talked back and forth, and we decided to try. I said, what if it's about acknowledging, oh, this weird thing. She has no idea what the hell is going on, right? So if everybody is going to look like they died and then come back, if I look at my wife and she doesn't, which they included that take, it's this small look at like, how dare they? They're okay and she's not okay? Fuck you. And that propels her out. And I was like, we have to have a reason that she would leave her wife's body. So that we did that. And those are the kinds of things that, that he takes the time to talk to you about. And I'm really proud. And shout out to the freaking New Mexico, Albuquerque Central background people. That shit is not AI. That is not CGI. And you're going to see some episodes with 150 background people. I don't think I'm allowed to say that. I just said that. There are groups of people playing the others that had to act and perform and perfect things. And they're not tiled. They are there, and they are working actors.
Yeah, and they did a great job.
Yeah. I did want to ask you really quickly, just as sort of a follow-up. You've of course, worked with Vince a little bit before. And I'm curious, what was sort of different about, other than the project itself, of course, but your working relationship and how you knew the way to work together with this specific project?
Well, if you ever have the great fortune, first of all, the great fortune is to work. Then it's to work on scripts like this. And then if you get repeated directors in any fashion, you do develop a shorthand. And getting to work with this brilliant person episode after episode, like we start to be able to help each other, support each other, understand your process, my process, how that collaboration. So there was that kind of gift going into it with Vince. And what was different was I knew we were Better Call Saul is a different animal than Breaking Bad, but it does have the mothership of Breaking Bad. There is a subtext tone, a foundational tone, right? And characters that have pre-existed. And we're going to do things different. And Peter Gould, genius co-showrunner that then became showrunner in the last couple of seasons on his own, it's its own thing, but there was a North Star in a way that you're extracting from, right? Or looking towards, I suppose. This was whole cloth. Whole cloth. I don't know what it is. I don't know what Carol is. I'm not sure what the tone is. And I was like, okay, so let's do it. And scary in the best way, challenging in the best way. He said he wanted me to do everything. He said he wanted me to do like the darkest psychological drama I've ever done, and funny and hilarious and everything in between. And I'm sitting there going like, I think this might be the day the jig is up, and they all find out I can't act. Because this might be
Isn't that crazy? But to add to your thing, but it was just incredible to watch coming in as a newbie into this thing and you guys' relationship and how he directs you. And what's incredible is just they would have a conversation about the scene, and then every time you came in with something so new, so fresh, and I was just mesmerized, just completely mesmerized. And you guys have this beautiful creative thing going together that is really, really special.
We do
so
talk
much
in half
trust.
sentences now. He's like,
Yeah,
I think
but
it's a
it's
little
like-
more, but it's like E, and I'm like, yeah, but grr. And he's like, yeah, do do, and I was like, let's go.
Sometimes yes, and I was like, what is happening? But then she would do it, and then you're like, wow, this is incredible. That's beautiful, and it's because there's so much trust because you guys work together for so long that there's this incredible trust where you're just so open. He says, do this, and you just jump in and do it, and with so much nuance and depth, and I was just blown away every time. I was
you.
like, whoa.
But he also, and you can speak to this, he also, Vince assumes you're brilliant until you prove otherwise, as opposed to assuming you're a piece of crap until you prove otherwise. And sadly, like a lot of times sets are like people shooting at your feet, like Yosemite Sam. And can you still act in this environment? Can you act if like we treat you like crap? Can you act if I don't give you your lines to the last second? I don't understand it. Vince is like, what's the best environment that could help you soar? And then the crews he's assembling, my crew I've also been with for all of Better Call Saul. And some of them were on Breaking Bad. And I'm telling you, you walk in some days and I'm like, okay, it's me in every scene and it's 16 hours. And some of this is really difficult physically. Some of this is really difficult emotionally. And I've got crew people, Jules' camera assistant, like doing my marks, sun's coming up, you know, night shoots night after night. And he's tapping my leg because I was just looking down trying to catch my breath. And he goes, you know, we all got you, right? I just... There's a lot of people that are just as talented as me that are not being given this environment. And it's not lost on me that I have such gratitude to all of them.
Yeah. I'm here for that.
Yes.
Karolina, I'd love if you'd speak a little bit about your experience working with all of the people on this set. I mean, clearly there's a lot of talent here in every respect.
Yeah, I mean, everything to what she said. It's, you know, I was coming in as a, you know, as a newbie, and everyone, you know, I've been on a few sets now, and what's so special about this set is that everyone was so excited to be there, and everyone brought their A game and then some. And it was just such a pleasant environment to be around, and you felt so safe and taken care of and welcomed. And you know what you said about Vince, for me, was that whenever I came to an idea, he always welcomed it. And he never made me feel, well, that was silly. You know, it was just like, oh yeah, let's talk. Oh yeah, that's interesting. And he's so collaborative.
Or let's try it.
And or let's try it. And you know, you're the same way. Like, you're just so giving. And when you have that environment, it's just, you really want to do the best work you can do and then some, and you want to push yourself and challenge yourself. And it was such a treat going to work and just being around these people that give everything, you know. And yeah, I can't, like, it was just magic. It was just really, you know, and I know, because we always say, like, it's so amazing, and but it was just so special. And
Very special place to work.
yeah, and it's just everybody that's there is just excited to be there and not, you know, exhausted and miserable. They were just like, okay, let's keep going. Let's no matter if it's like 6 a.m, they're just like, I'm gonna give them my best. Like, let's do it together. We can do it. And it's really, really cheering each other on all the time.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And I want to say, because we're here with SAG, that my beloved union. I love SAG.
Yes.
We all have our bumps and bobbles, but I love this union. But the idea that you could go in and for me, for such a long time, there was the category of nothing but humility and this is a fluke and you won the lottery and you don't belong here. And the other column was behavior I did not like, of entitlement and I'm not a collaborator and full of themselves and this. And I was like, where is this middle road? And I have to say, sometime along the road of Better Call Saul, and then it was given room to grow in Pluribus now with us, is they created an environment. And I would offer to you, as an actor that's been doing it a very long time, there is this space in the middle that's just about showing up and feeling like I'm value added. It's not cocky. It's not, but it's also not I'm nothing. I got hired by very smart people that thought I had something to bring to the table. And I owe them some creative thoughts and some creative ideas. And it's not about being pushy. It's not about being bossy. It's not about thinking I'm better than anybody. But I don't need to try to make myself not take up space and be invisible. He creates an environment where you don't walk around thinking like, I'm sure they're going to fire me any second. So you get to try things where everyone goes, yeah, that doesn't work. And you go, no, it doesn't. And you do another take. And no one's like, we made a giant mistake hiring her. So I would offer that to everybody. Like, if you get hired on anything, you are value added. And when you don't get hired, you're still valuable. And I can tell you, I got Better Call Saul from 9 years of not getting cast through Bialy Thomas casting. And when Vince and Peter saw my tape for Better Call Saul, they said, what else has she done? And it was sitcoms, which I'm very proud of, but they were like, but can she take direction? Can she do drama? Can she do a monologue? What if we take the character in this direction, that direction? And Sharon Bialy told me that she told them about 9 years of a body of my work that had only been seen by 3 people because I never got any of those jobs. And so those were my failures, but they're how I got Better Call Saul. So you're value added to yourself as well.
Just to add to that, because I'm glad you share that, because also to add to that, you know, when you go on auditions and you don't get the job, you think you're not good or whatever the story is, right? And sometimes they're told, but the casting loved you and it's not going your way. Well, it's really important that they love you, because when I got this job, I didn't have an agent or a manager, and the casting remembered me prior from the auditions and projects I was up for and didn't get. And they looked for this character, from what Vince and you guys said, is for a while and they couldn't find my character. And if it wasn't for them, I would have never had the opportunity. If they didn't remember me, they wouldn't have the opportunity. I wouldn't have the opportunity to even read for it. So whenever you go in the room and you do an audition, and even if you don't get it, casting, you know, remembers you, and you never, ever, ever know.
Yes, and
when
go in
it's gonna
there,
be the time.
and do
your job, and do your job and do your best job,
Yep.
and you know, and yeah, and you never know. The casting will remember you and
Yep.
be like, hey, how about this project? Like, you know,
People think
so.
Vince found, they're like, how did he see Malcolm in the Middle and cast Bryan Cranston? It's not. It's an episode that Vince wrote and directed of X-Files where Bryan Cranston was a guest star. And a decade and a half later, he was like, that guy should be the lead of my new show.
I could very easily keep you guys here for a very, very long time.
I'm chatty Kathy, sorry.
No, this is wonderful. Trust me. The last question I'll ask you both. You know, the first 2 episodes are on Apple TV now. There's already been a huge reaction to the series. There's a lot of excitement around it. What are you both personally most excited to see as the rest of this season rolls out, and as we now know, you head into another chapter?
Go ahead, take that one first.
I am not reading most of the reviews. They make me too nervous. I was sent 2 of them, representative of them, saying that people like it.
And
Correct.
also me texting you, going like, girl.
Yeah.
I'm
There's
so
also a lot of
excited 'cause
this.
they're
Like,
just
I know
saying
you don't
it's
read the
a-
reviews, but
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I hear we broke the internet when it came out on
We broke
Apple.
Apple
Apple
the
crashed
platform.
when
Yeah.
it came out. So, I must admit, relief is the first feeling. I don't want to disappoint Vince. I don't want to disappoint anybody that supports me. I don't want to not do my job well. I'm so thin-skinned. I didn't want to read horrible things about myself. I'm sure there's bad reviews out there, and I understand. But whatever.
No, they're not.
I'm very thankful for the reception, and I want the show to go and go because I would watch the show even if I wasn't in it. So I have no idea what season 2 is. I don't know that Vince does, to tell you the truth. Apparently, the writers' room opens like next week or something.
I think it's open now.
Is it? Okay. I have no idea, and I've asked him, and he kind of laughs, and he's like, I don't know either. And I think he's telling the truth. But I hope it keeps fans engaged because I do think Vince rewards and assumes the intelligence of his fans. So getting to be in his shows where you do not have to telegraph to the audience exactly what you're thinking, and taking them on a ride with you and sort of inspiring and instilling a need to have a conversation with viewers afterwards, like it makes... I want that. The journalists and stuff that I'm speaking to, like, they actually want to talk to me like as though they're somebody, my friend that just watched it on the couch with me. They're like, I don't know how I would define happiness or contentment. What does success mean? I was like, I'm with you, brother. Like, I love that. I love that. In a show that's about community versus like she's a loner and all this, like, I'm so excited this show is making people want to hang out with each other and talk about it, while being this incredible ride of a mystery, and it's hilarious, and then it's dark and dramatic. I just hope that ride keeps going, and I really hope people keep showing up. It is a thinking show. It is not a passive show for sure, but I think his audiences love that.
And I also hope people have conversations that the show brings up for people, humanity and individuality and happiness and what's serenity, what's loneliness, what's conformity and all of it. And I think that's what we did. It was great about on set. We would have all these discussions about what this new world is and means. And I hope people have these conversations with each episode.
I want them to take sides and take mine.
Yeah, well, I hope they take my side.
As they should.
No, but it's truly, like, it's so fun when you're having a show and you finish the show. And, a lot of the time you finish an episode and you go, okay, that was great. But this will make you have a conversation of just like, wait a second, what just happened? Wait, okay, let's, and that's what's so fun. So I hope people really enjoy the ride till the end.
58 seasons. I'll be in a walker, but it's going to be great.
Let it be so. Let it be so. Thank you both so much. Everyone, please give a round of applause.